Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gingereno's Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. I'm your host, Eric, aka Gingereno, and the host of the World-of-Eora podcast, where I talk about news and lore for the Pillars of Eternity games, as well as Obsidian Entertainment's upcoming release, Avowed, which, if you're not aware, shares the same fantasy world as Pillars of Eternity. So those of you who are excited about Avowed, and you've been wanting to learn more about the world, and get excited for the game, and learn about what kind of character you might want to play, this Let's Play is for you because, let's be honest, some people, they don't like the CRPG style of game, and that's totally fine. But if you're still wanting to get into the world, this is something where you can kind of secondhand get exposed to it. So welcome to the Let's Play, and I'll be doing exposition on the lore as we continue into the game. Just as a heads up, there's a little scroll that'll appear in the top right corner as we play. That could be some developer commentary that pops up. Some of the developer commentary does have spoilers, so if you're not wanting to have the narrative spoiled ahead of time for you, feel free to just scroll ahead in the video until that passes. I'll just let it play. But I mean, if you're watching this, you're going to have the narrative, in a sense, spoiled for you as you go anyway, so it's up to you. With that said, let's dive into today's episode. All right, so here we are. As a quick recap, we are in Heritage Hill. Why are we in Heritage Hill? Well, you see here from the quest Undying Heritage, an acolyte showed me a vision of ancient tower in a derelict district of Defiance Bay. It's the city we're in right now. There was a strange man in the tower working on some kind of machine. I also saw a woman with a scar over her heart. I don't know where she is, but I suspect that she holds the key to whatever happened here. Essentially, I infiltrated something called the Leaden Key. It's a secret organization. I infiltrated a headquarters of theirs, and I spoke to an acolyte who gave me a vision. And I'm trying to locate this man that I saw at the start of the game who awakened my character's soul. This person right here. And my character is now at the threat of becoming mad because what has happened is all of his past lives are now possibly going to come to the forefront of his mind and drive him mad. So we're trying to find this guy to see if we can solve this, remedy this situation. And in the process, kind of discovered the Leaden Key and led me here. So I am in Heritage Hill trying to discern what the vision was about in here and also figure out the mystery of what's going on because this place has become overrun with essentially undead. All right, enough of that. We're going to get into the game. First thing I like to do when we get started is go into the encyclopedia and check out some lore because this is an expositionally based podcast. Now, in previous episodes, we had talked a lot about, I think this is Salvation was one. I don't know if we've already read this or not, but we're going to go through this. So this is something called the Salvation, a piece of lore about the world. An attempt by animancers, which are scientists of the soul, to curtail the number of Hollowborn deaths during Widewind's legacy. Hollowborn basically means you're born without a soul, and they called it Widewind's legacy by transfusing the souls of animals into Hollowborn children, in hopes they could care for themselves. The practice was catastrophic failure, resulting without exception in the creation of wicts, which are these like feral, aggressive creatures that are essentially children that have gone feral, and is often called the Cruel Salvation. So the Salvation, before it was called Cruel Salvation, was these animancers using science and soul science, I guess, essentially, were able to implant the animal souls into these children that were born without any soul. When they put the animal souls into the Hollowborn children, everything looked like it was all fine and dandy. The kids were all of a sudden conscious and aware of their surroundings and making choices and all that, so they called it the Salvation. But as we find out in the lore, at some point, or right around the time they go through puberty into adolescence, their personality devolved into that of a wict. So essentially these kids just turned into these pre-adolescent sized creatures that were feral, aggressive, and are essentially monstrous creatures now. And so the Salvation got renamed to the Cruel Salvation. Yeah, there you go. If you haven't been keeping up with the game, this might be a little bit like, what the heck's going on to you? But yeah, let's get into today's episode. Let's find out what's going on in this area. Ooh, I have a goal. Let's get them. You know what? There's probably a lot of other enemies around here too, so let's just move ahead a little.
Let's see what lies this way.
Okay, he left. Sneaky. Sneaky. Whoa! Those little yellow circles at the base of my character, and these characters mean that they are getting noticed. Ah, I got spotted. All right. Well, it's just these guys right now. Okay. I don't want to kite too many enemies this way if there's a whole bunch up here, so I'm going to pull back.
As you wish.
Everyone's still in sneak mode. I want you to unsneak. There we go. Okay. Let's have my priest cast this just because I want to get used to using the mechanics as much as possible. They're slow as balls, so let's put this here. And you're going to wounding shot this guy. Have you go attack. And you can go knock this puppy down. Hey. What are you doing? You're not doing much of anything. Why don't you shoot some arrows at the far guy?
What is it?
And you just go beat him up. I mean, these little dots above his head, that means he's not doing anything. Useless.
That's it!
Alright.
Yes?
Boom. You can shoot at him. There we go. And that's combat for you. Just a lot of micromanaging. I never used to like combat like this, but this game just...
As you wish.
Changed the way I approach games like this.
A blade in the dark.
I'm gonna go this way. There we go. Now we got some people to contend with. So, do I have anything special? I don't have anything special.
Ready, Watcher.
Let's do... Okay, and it's gonna pause. Now you can go at it, and you can go at it. Send the dog after
Yes?
Dead on!
Nice. Ooh, that's a good group. All right. Bring it. You silly tits. All right. Where are you? My characters are not placed well. I should place them better. I'm gonna change the formation of this. Okay. Everyone to attack this guy, except you're gonna knock him down. Oh shoot, you know what? I want everyone to attack this guy, and then you're gonna knock him down. Go.
Dead on!
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
Dead on!
There we go. So for those of you who are going to decide to like get into this game, you want to try it out. I mean, the game auto pauses a lot for you, so if you're moving and you want to go somewhere, it'll auto pause for you in a lot of places. But you can also pause yourself, issue commands, and they'll take care of it from you there. You just got to be strategic in who are you going to place. Now, so that said, I want to put you in
Hope you're not
front.
expecting much.
And I want to keep you in the back. Maybe I'll move you up front. And then you and you.
What?
There we go.
Hey.
Let's see. How does this look? Mac is in the back there. All right, that's fine. Although I kind of want you moved up ahead. Okay, well. Let's have them be a triangle, actually. Let's see if this helps. He's still back there. All right. This is where a lot of your micromanagement comes into play. Have you... There we go. put my character in the middle, because it's my character. Boom. What do you got here? Some stuff. Nice.
Yes?
You found that. You found that.
Of course.
I like that you can have multiple people looting at the same time. Alright. Alright. I got my little cosmic piggy here with me. That's delightful. Alright. Not stealing, so I'm going to go here. Nice. Acantha. A woman bends over a roaring fireplace, feeding a splintered leg into it. As you get closer, you notice something unnatural about her. A certain pallor to her skin, a lack of movement beneath her flesh, even while her arms execute deft, efficient movements. And then you see the puckered flesh, ragged and bloodless, over her heart.
Unnatural creature. We should correct it. Send it scampering back to the foulest depths of animancy from whence it came.
It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully.
She laughs to herself.
I saw you in a vision. There's something you need to do for me.
Believe me, I've heard that line before.
Do you know what happened here?
An incredible act of animancy, of a magnitude this part of the world likely hasn't seen since Engwithan times. Someone found something very powerful and ancient, and I'd bet my own preserved life it wasn't Aldhelm or his lovely assistant.
I still don't understand why this district is full of walking corpses.
She spins from the fire to face you. Because someone found a way to tether their souls to their bodies, don't you see? She taps her skull with an impatient finger. So when the heart stops beating, when the blood stops flowing, their bodies still animate, and with a newfound hunger. She turns back to the fire. Those that can feed it with living flesh and essence stay strong and sharp. Those that can't degenerate quickly.
Tell me what you know about this Aldheim.
His name barely merits repeating. He's a charlatan who likes to dig up pretty artifacts and call himself a scholar. The pity with animancy these days is that it's just about anyone can claim to be an expert.
I see.
She smirks. I truly doubt that.
Who are you?
A survivor, by the grace of my own careful preparations. When I heard the claws scrabbling at the door outside, I took care of matters myself. And since then, I've been careful to keep myself fresh and fed.
Okay, sounds like it's time for me to get going.
Cool. So, I am in the house of a... Wow, that is way too far apart. I am in the house of a... cannibal? It sounds like? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's a little better. I still would rather... You know what? I know this is annoying. But dang it, I have ways of doing things. And I want it to be done. Let's do this. There. I am now done. I promise. Alright. Well, going here didn't solve anything. Let's get out. Neat. Oh. Well, looking back at our quest journal, enter the tower in Heritage Hill. This thing here looks like a tower. I don't think there's any base here. Nope. I'm just gonna look around for the tower. Heritage Hill Cemetery. Crookware, fair foodstuffs, and once priceless vases, now chipped and cracked, fills the wagon. Well, let's go over here. Ooh. Alright, if I place my party here. Alright, so I think I recall seeing a whole bunch of enemies down here, so I'm going to try to set up my party in such a way that my heavy hitters are closer to the front. I don't know why I have you back there, because you actually need to be able to hit things. You know, really? Is that the word I'm going to use? All right. Let's
I'm
put
here.
you here.
What is it?
Here.
Following your lead.
Here.
How may I help?
Here. And
What?
you here. Okay. Now, can anyone hit someone from that far away? Let's
Ready,
see.
Watcher.
Cannot. Alright, well, let's go sick the dog on them.
How may I help?
Oh, yes. There we go. This is what I wanted.
Hey.
Now, put this there.
What?
Hopefully it'll catch the most. And then... Boom. Nice hit. Do it again. You... I'm going to need to... You know what? Get in there. Get in there.
Bitch!
Following your
What do I want you to do? I want to get you.
I have.
Let's zoom in here. See what's going on. Where are you? You're right there? Alright. Let's get you to help.
Well.
You can't do anything there. Targets. Targets. Let's blind all these people. That'll help things out. Who are you fighting? This person?
follow.
Alright. Might not seem like it, but I'm having the best time. You should be shooting somebody.
Yes.
You can knock somebody else down.
Hey.
Ah, this guy's gonna be fun. Let's beat him. Alright, now I can summon things. Let me summon those there. And then you, I want to have skeletons pop in here.
Mark 10.
Haha! Go take care of that guy. You three, take care of that guy. And then I want you to... Where are you? You're right there. I'll keep this out. You just keep hitting that.
Yes. Quick. Seamless meat.
Nice. There's only one guy left. Everybody. Beat him up. He's got like no health left. Alright. And go. That was very anticlimactic. There you go. That was a good time. There go my little summons back into the ground. Man, we got a lot of stuff here. But only one weapon is a rod. I think Durance. I think he is proficient with rods. I can't remember. Well, let's go see what this is. Cool. This looks like the base of the tower. The massive stone door of the tower is sealed. Oh, and there doesn't appear to be any way of opening it. Speak the words you learned from the Leaden Key Acolyte. You hear rumbles and clanks from hidden tumblers as the door unlocks. Continue. Oh, wow. Look at me. I'm inside this tower. Sneak.
I'll take a look.
We're now sneaking, or scouting, I guess. Get to the top of the tower in Heritage Hill, so I have to climb the tower. Good old tower climbing dungeons, you know? There's more bad guys here. Let's see. Yeah. Let's just move a little bit forward until you start seeing me. There we go. There's a whole bunch of you. Alright. Ah, shoot.
Hey.
Okay, he's gonna get in the way. Oh man, everyone is super quick. Oh well. Yeah, let's loot the bodies. Loot the bodies.
Of course.
Cool. Alright, what's over here? Ooh, crumpled page from Aldhelm's journal. That's the guy that was, what's her name was talking about? Acantha. Day 7. A week of study, and we're still none the wiser about this device. Trindig remains optimistic. I don't know what I'd do without his spirit. I don't know about this one. Trindig's letter. Dearest mother and father. No, I'm just kidding. My character's the one reading this. I guess I should say it like this then. That's too bad. You will be pleased to hear that I've learned much already since coming to the city. There are many incredible ruins nearby, and Master Greg has... I love this. This is a side note here. This is just a fantasy way of saying Greg. I was listening to Josh Sawyer in a podcast interview where he's like, so if you want to make a name fantasy, like the name Sam, you just put another M at the end, and now it's a fantasy name. So I'm thinking, like, you just take Greg, you shove an A before the E, and now you have Fantasy Greg. Anyways, Master Greg has allowed me to accompany him on a number of expeditions. I am writing to you from inside an ancient Ingwithan tower. There's an entire district built up around it, but the locals have mostly left the tower untouched. They have let us set up temporary living quarters here so our work can continue uninterrupted. It is an unsettling place at times, but Master Greg has been a constant comfort, and he is quick to remind me that the things we learned from this tower may one day help us find a cure for Widewind's legacy. So yeah, the Ingwithans are an ancient civilization of people that lived in this area, but they are now extinct, and they are responsible for like all of this stuff that you see, this like weird technology in this tower that we're even in. This is an Ingwithan ancient tower. The technology that they had and they were capable of is astounding. Like our current civilization is not able to reach that technology. And again, Widewind's legacy is the name given to the Hollowborn crisis. It's the name given to the Hollowborn problem, where children are born without a soul. It's being called Widewind's legacy. And a lot of animancers nowadays in Deerwood, which is the area that we're playing the game in, they are trying to figure out how to solve the problem. Essence shimmers and pulsates within this strange device.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Let's see what we got over here. Ooh, a skeletal fighter. Let's go with that. Alright. Let's send you two. Unsneak. Hey, go for it. And then the rest of you, go. This is what happens when you play on storytime mode. Everything is super easy. Ooh, we got a bunch of weapons here. I'm gonna take that. Some bones. Oh, we got scale armor, a paradit, and silver finnings. Patting the scratchy old coverlet thickens with air, the air with dust. No one has used this bed in weeks.
Of course.
Yes, thanks for that little comment there. Hey, there's a staircase. Let's see if there's anything down here. Ooh, I'm just gonna go for it. Everywhere.
Yes.
Alright. A scroll of Minoleta's bounding missiles. Cool. You can cast a spell, potion of power, copper pans. Page from Aldhelm's journal. Day 2. We've completed our measurements of the machine, thanks to Trinding's youthful agility. Further examination is required to discover its intended use. It sounds like they fixed something here, and now they want to figure out how to use it. Duh. Alright. Level 2. Let's see what... No, I'm trying to loot. We got a book. The Life and Discoveries of Pangram. Ooh. This will be fun for later. Let's read it now. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to read that now. Might read it later, though. We'll see. For those of you nerds out there.
The layout for this level was inspired by a severed hand level in Icewind Dale 1. It made it easy to go to the environment artist and say, make the scene look just like that.
Huh, cool. I haven't played Icewind Dale. You know, that means some people will shoot me for saying it, but I have not played it. Ooh, you're getting close. Come on.
Ready, Watcher.
Let's get him. Ha! sucker. You dumb butthead. I knew you'd never.
How may
do
I
that.
help?
Oh, crap. Oh, no, not your friends. No. I can't do it. Oh, no.
What is it?
Quick, all my ranged people. Get them. How dare you get close to my people, he says. I will take care of you.
What?
There we go. Everyone stops fighting as soon as that one person's destroyed. Come on. Slam up. Get him. Dang. Cool. Alright then.
Of course.
Revenants and Dargles are
I shall be discreet.
a lot of what I'm running into, it seems. Knock this puppy down.
Hey,
Brave thou Philoth.
That's it!
Boom. We got Sigil of the Arcane, nice, and a letter from Icantha. Aldhelm, I did indeed receive your recent summons, as well as the two that came before it. I'd been waiting for you to present yourself on my doorstep so that I could give you my answer in person. A firm and unwavering no. I won't help you. In fact, I relish the idea of you and your team of glorified engineers sitting in that tower, sweating over the runes I've studied for years. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than knowing that my research, which you've long disparaged, is the missing piece in your mundane little puzzle. As you well know, it's knowledge I've always valued. I'm just around the corner. I encourage you to find me should you wish to rehash this conversation in person. Yours truly, Icantha. What a helpful woman. Folded page from Eldam's journal. Day 10. Patrons grow impatient with the lack of quantifiable results. They should drag themselves out of their mansions and spend a few nights here if they think it's so easy. That's right. The pulling, pounding energy in the machine feels even stronger up here. There's more stairs there, but let's defeat this guy. Boom. Let's take all this stuff. Page from Eldam's journal. Day 11. Finally got out of the tower to clear our heads. Beasts take the patrons. We'll finish the study on our own terms, on our own time. Just as I said as much to Trindig. The sky came to life with stray lighting. I said it's a good omen, but the poor lad's spooked. Only cure for that is a good night's sleep.
all right then.
Sounds like they're making some little progress. What's this? Animancy in the modern age. Nice. Maybe that's what we'll be reading. And there's just a bunch of coins on the shelf. Alright, let's go this way. Top of the tower. My quest line should be.
Let's try this configuration. Still nothing. Confounded device.
I wonder what happens if you just kill the guy. You know? I don't know. Anyways, what was the quest? Find out how the Ingwitha machine in Heritage Hill works. I should do that. I should do one of these playthroughs at Genocide Run. Just
At one point, there was a sequence where the party leaped off the tower as the machine exploded Die Hard style. There were a lot of sad faces when it was cut, but something similar will probably make it back in for the expansion. Besides, once the background for this area was done and it became evident how tall the tower was, it didn't seem plausible that the party could possibly survive the landing.
Dang. That would have been cool. Oh well. Aldhelm. Oh, hey. We've been reading your journal. I hope he doesn't too upset about it. A man hunches over the strange mechanism, his spine a sharp ridge rising from his arched back. He's barely clothed in filthy rags, and the patches of skin you see are mottled green. A spoiled stench emanates from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice you until your shadow falls over him. When he turns and sees you, he snarls and scuttles behind the Audra pedestal. Only his bared teeth seem to have escaped decay. His eyes are yellowed and bloodshot, but they flicker with intelligence. He averts his gaze and holds a hand in front of his face.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Who and what are you?
15 years at Brackenbury. 7 tours to the ruins beyond Solace Vale. I'm an animancer. Still an animancer.
Tell me what happened here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He smashes a fist in the Audra pillar. His hand makes a crunching noise, but doesn't bleed.
Forgive me. Forgive me. Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now.
Aelof's lips twist in disgust. If I had a copper skate for every fool animancer whose thirst for knowledge led to a disaster, well, I never would have ended up in a gilded veil, that's for sure.
Keep talking, Aldem.
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start?
As exciting as the prospect of living machine may be, I suspect, given mention of a machine and a masked figure both, there is another explanation.
Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
You do seem like you'd know a thing or two about flies.
There's no time for jokes! There's no time! This machine, I have to figure it out while I still can.
He looks at you and runs his tongue along the edges of his fine, strong teeth. He quickly looks away.
It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
How can I help?
Not your help I need. It's Harridan, shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities. Then refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls.
Wait, runes? The Gwithin runes? She can read them? He speaks of this feat so blandly. Let's talk instead to this Harridan, Eric. I'd pick her thoughts a time.
She wasn't here the night the machine came on. Staying with her patrons somewhere near. Too good to be burdened with our ignorant company. There was a stranger in the tower the night this happened?
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning, the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
You're not like the gulls in the other street.
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply.
Ooh.
I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster. You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
All right. I'm just going to leave it at, I'll get the words from Icantha.
Yes. Acantha. She was here. In the district. Probably here still. Always prepared. Clever lady, that one. And perhaps you'll bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
Send me food in the form of living people.
This is an animancer in his natural state, Watcher. Never has he respected the sanctity of the god's creation. Only now he's no longer has the cunning to hide it. He should be put down like the sick animal. Although, not without first putting his spirit to the flames test.
Find Icantha. All right. Anything up here? No. Just this. Standing here, the device feels like being blown about by a storm gale. The stone steps. Ooh, the stone steps hum with energy. I shouldn't do that because I don't have time to read it before it disappears. Only one person is gonna go leave. All of you leave now. The winding staircase. Oh, I could just go straight down. Okay, cool. That's nice. All right.
I got here as fast as I could. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You return. What if you come seeking this time?
I need the woods that operate the Ingwithan machine in the tower.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is.
You feel a white-hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul.
He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
Where would they move souls?
Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know.
Why would the Ingwithans have wanted to tether souls like this?
Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Ingwithans as masters of soul manipulation. But they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment.
You seem to know a lot about Tea Nuneth.
I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely.
So how do you operate the machine atop Tea Nuneth?
Back to these Tinker's concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd release them?
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless.
I could help you, but I won't. The pride lodging in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here, I have specimens aplenty and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no.
What? But what good is observing all this if you're going to hoard it for yourself? Tell her, Eric. An entire language at your fingertips, and she hides it away.
The fate of these trapped souls is more important. They're inconsequential. Their existence means nothing. They don't even understand their predicament, which you and I see so clearly. Her pride blazes on. Through them, I'll accomplish more than any of my peers.
And who will know about it?
The pride thing flickers as the flame around it abate. All I've learned, years of studying the Ingwithan language, no one understands it better than me. That counts for something.
Knowledge is meaningless unless it's shared.
A foolish and false sentiment. Knowledge is meaning. It needs no external purpose. Her pride smolders still.
What use is it?
Her pride rages inside her. Uses? Why must something so pure be fashioned into a blunt instrument? I'm going to attempt to extinguish Acantha's pride. You force your essence around the burning lump inside her, but it scorches you. Your flesh is whole and unmarked when you draw back, but it nevertheless stings at the memory of the heat.
Your opportunities here are finite. One day, that knowledge will die with you.
The pride hisses and sputters. It's little more than an ember now. You're wrong. But there's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something.
Teach me what you know. I'll make sure that it grows and your legacy lives on.
Your words finally quench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond hard rock. You cast it away where it melts into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours.
This displays the power of the Watcher to be able to reach out to a person's soul and like quench or minimize or quell parts of their personality.
These are the words you need.
Of course, I'm not talking about this. Of course, I guess also the fact that she's kind of an undead creature maybe contributes to that. All right, these are the words you need. Her cold, dry fingertips rest on your temples, and you feel her reaching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they're no longer just pictures. They have meaning, and you understand them. They're commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unearthed from a past life long since buried. You can see a vast array of runes, far more than Acantha has shown you, and you know their sound and their meaning and how they fit together. The language of Engwith, once more at your command.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge, then, and do what you will with Tea Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
A speaker of dead tongues now, and so he surpasses 100 frustrated scholars in the matter of a few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me.
What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
If only we could get all the Animancers together in one place. Perhaps we could destroy their souls as well. You said the other towers around the Deerwood were constructed to move souls. Why would the Ingwithans have wanted to do that? Ah, we already talked to her about this. Cool. That's all. Thanks. Deal with the Ingwithan machine. Ugh. How did we get here so fast? No bother. Let's go. Do I talk to him?
Aldem looks much worse than before. His rotten flesh hangs loosely, and sores have eaten away patches of skin at his joints. He looks at you with a strange glimmer in his eyes.
Flesh.
He doubles over, coughing up strings of black bile. He seems to have forgotten about you for the moment. Alright, let's fiddle with this machine. A jagged Adra pillar rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through with copper veins. The panel is covered with runes, which you can now understand. You recognize words for end and for hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. You also recognize by an inscription that the manner in which you turn the dial is a means of throttling the device. So I can choose end, or maximize the machine's throttles in hopes of overloading the device, or I can leave. I mean, so if I do this, the machine will be destroyed, so this technology will be gone, and the souls that are trapped inside this thing will be destroyed as well. So if I just end it, the souls will be released. So the benevolent thing seems to be doing this, but knowing Obsidian, there's always a twist. As the command word leaves your lips, the dial sinks into the Adra under your hand, something like a thunderclap sound overhead. The glow fades from the machine as it falls dormant. I received major positive reputation with Defiance Bay. Cool. The quest is done. All right, I'm done another quest. Did I get experience for it? I did. Look at all that experience, baby. What am I doing next? Travel to Deerford Village. Inform Lady Webb about the Leaden Keys activities. I guess I could tell her about this. Cool. I wonder if I talk to him, what'll happen.
Still and silent. It's finally over. Still and
all right.
silent.
That's it.
It's finally over.
And now, back to Lady Webb.
The tower. It's off. Does this mean the curse on Heritage Hill is lifted? It wasn't a curse, but yes, the district is safe again. I think it'll be some time before anyone will be willing to settle in the district again, but at least we can get started on restoring it.
Cool. On to Brackenbury, where we talk to Lady Webb.
You fought in the Saints' War, but for which side?
The one that blew up my god.
I didn't mean anything by it. I imagine a man with a head made of fire and light
Good day,
would be
stranger.
very convincing.
Courier, excuse me, but I've been looking for you. You're the one who lifted the curse on Heritage Hill. My lady who wishes to remain anonymous has entrusted me with bringing you this pistol. It belonged to a dear friend of hers who was lost to the curse. For your partner claiming Heritage Hill, my lady wishes to let you have it. Here, it may serve you well in battle. Thank you. I wonder how much I could give for selling this. That's all. Thank you. She bows. You are quite welcome. You have gained an item, St. Garum's Spark. Now I must be off farewell. I didn't mean anything by
Funny
it.
thing about Deerwoodans. With all that fire and light, they just treated him like another authority figure.
Oh man, it's too bad that interrupted that. What did I just get? Here it is, St. Garum's Spark. It's a unique pistol, two-handed, slow speed. You know what? This might actually be... I'm going to replace this. I like the idea of using this pistol. Plus, it was a gift, you know? Gifts are important. I like unique items like this because... Well, actually, I like pretty much. I like all things. I like all items. But some of these unique ones have lore attached to it. So like these gold-plated ones here are unique items. And if you look into all the stuff it has, you can read the lore about it, which I'm going to do right now because sometimes you learn something really interesting. Let's see what we got here. Pierce damage, it's versus deflection. So I don't know if I've ever gone through this with you guys, but like here's how this is all broken down. The name of the thing and different features of the weapon. So this is a unique pistol. It takes 2 hands to shoot. Very slow, so it takes a long time for the next sequence of attack to go. I can only shoot 8 meters. The interrupt chance is interrupt is 0.35 seconds, so it interrupts people. It delays the next person's attack by that much seconds. So if I'm going to attack somebody and they have a different speed, if I interrupt them with this, it interrupts by that many. The damage, this is how much the range of damage can be depending on where I am and how much I hit. Piercing style damage, accuracy versus deflection. So my accuracy versus the target's deflection. I get plus 10 accuracy granted to an ally attacking the same target. It does 25% shock damage, 6 damage resistant bypass. So it'll bypass a damage resistance of 6 and all that. Yeah. So Saint Garam was a priest of Hylia, Hylia being one of the 11 gods of the world. She's the goddess of birds and the sky and childbirth, weirdly enough. Known for his mastery of the art of wordplay, it was said that he could shape the mood of a crowd with a single word and find with cruel precision the most shocking turn of phrase with which to dismantle an opponent. One more whimsical daughter of Deerwood had this pistol crafted in his honor. For the gun, too, she said, could put an end to any debate. Very good. Comparing a man's words to a pistol. Neat. And actually, that's really on point, now that I think about it, because Hylia is also the goddess of like creativity and art and expression and all that. And so this kind of gives you a little clue as to like the type of people that you see. Like we have a priest of Hylia, Garam, known for his mastery of the art of wordplay. That's actually really fitting of a priest of Hylia, who would be an orator. I often wonder if a comedian would be a priest of Hylia or a Hylian follower. Actually, I do a podcast. Would that be a Hylian thing? It's kind of creative, I guess. You know? So I don't know. Let's talk to Lady Webb. This time I have all of us here, including Cosmic Pig.
How fares your search?
There's something I can tell you about the Lead and Key operations.
Well, let's hear it.
The Ingwithan Tower in Heritage Hill contains an ancient machine that can control the flow of souls. The Lead and Key activated it.
This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The Leaden Key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it.
This is actually a pretty important detail. Like the Leaden Key was born in that period. So during the time of the Ingwithan people, the Leaden Key was actually made. And Theos is the Grand Master of the Leaden Key. So, you know, it's easy to surmise right here that he has some really good access to ancient knowledge and possibly the knowledge of how to operate Ingwithan technology, which can literally manipulate souls.
That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
That's all. Farewell. Cool. All right. I'm going to call it there. That's been a full episode, I would say. So before we end off the day, I'm going to do what I like to normally do, which is, go and look at one of the books that we got, and we'll read through the lore. So let's see. We have Life of Discoveries of Pangram, and we have Animancy in the Modern Age is the one I think I'm going to go with. Okay, so I'm going to click this, and now you see this here. If this is not interesting to you, then just scroll ahead until you see that this thing is gone, and then you don't have to worry about it. But for now, I'm just going to read through this. Oh boy, and I'll give you some commentary as we go. I might skip some parts if it's not really relevant at all that, but this will be the little lore dump, the little exposition that we go through. All right. Animancy in the Modern Age. as narrated by Gingereno. Animancy is a science both respected and reviled, sometimes by the same person. For all the research done on the topic, we still know so little. Control over life itself. Something animancers have been working towards for hundreds of years. There are no real records of how the practice of animancy was first discovered, but once the spark of knowledge is ignited, there is no stopping its inevitable discoveries. In 2260 AI, which is, about that's a few hundred years before we are now, animancers, as a result of their extensive research, successfully contained and transferred a soul. The subject of the experiment, whose name is unknown, was young and wealthy, but infirm. The idea was to move his soul from the dying body and into that of a recently deceased man who had suffered an accident. The new body, bearing only slight decay, would house the soul, giving the man a much better life. The outcome of this experiment resulted in the condemnation and outlaw of animancy in the Adir and Upper. So it sounds like they're like, yo, this young dude, this young rich man, he's going to die, so let's put him into this recently dead body that is much better for him by just moving his soul into it. That should be fine, right? Apparently, it was so bad that they condemned animancy in the Adirian Empire. Again, while we have no true records of what happened, as they were all destroyed after animancy was outlawed, this is not true, by the way. You can actually find actually, it's down here. They say there's no true records of what happened, and then there's a journal down here. A journal was discovered, a makeshift confection by one of the participants. Excerpts from that journal will follow. So this is now the journal of a person who was in that experiment, one of the earliest experiments of animancy, trying to move a soul from one body to another, except the other was a dead one. 2260 AI, that's the year and the calendar designation. Fun Prima, that tells you the month and season. Well, it actually just tells you the month, but it also tells you what season it is. And the 16th day. So I might go into the calendar of Aora some other time, but not this time because we got a lot to read through. 2260 AI Fun Prima 16. It is done, and the gods forgive us for our arrogance. I am not sure what I was expecting, certainly not that. But what did any of us expect? Still behind the revulsion, there is a sense of pride, something I can't deny. All the research, studying, everything we worked for. We thought we'd change the world. How it's changed. All was in place. The twisted form lying on the table next to its new vessel. The equipment had been prepared, the tinctures and potions all carefully crafted. Every detail painstakingly organized to ensure success. We most assuredly succeeded. The procedure went exactly as it should. The soul, extracted from the old body, held, bound in place to prevent it from moving on. Then the next step, transfer to the fresh vessel. It was beautiful and terrifying. I listened as they spoke the words of binding. I watched the soul move. Not the soul itself, of course, but the vapor we used to detect it. As it lowered into the vessel, a gentle luminescence covering the body, and then nothing. Silence, darkness. I held my breath, afraid that even the slightest disturbance would destroy all our hard work. Then motion, dear gods, and then blood. How did I survive? I do not know. The vessel rose from the slab, and the room breathed. Every person crowded around the tables exhaled. Some cheered. We had made life from death. We had become eternal. The body closed its eyes and tilted its head, looking for all purposes to be listening for something, or to it. Then its eyes popped open and it moved. Its lips peeled back from its teeth and a horrible expression of fury. It fell on the nearest man, tearing his throat, knocking him to the ground. Then the room erupted into screams, shouts, and a flurry of bodies running, pushing, doing everything in their power to get away from the creature sitting on their colleague. But right before that happened, in the split second before the chaos, when there was nothing in the air but a stunned, terrified silence, I heard it, sitting there on his chest, face at his neck, and it was feasting. So you have animancy in the modern age, as narrated by Gingereno. Thanks everyone for joining me on today's episode of the Pillars of Eternity playthrough. I'm your host Eric, aka Gingereno. If you want to learn more about the world of Aora, you can check out my podcast, aptly called The World of Aora. You can find it on most podcast platforms. You can reach me on Twitter at World of Aora, or you can email me worldofaora@gmail.com. I always appreciate any feedback about things like even this Let's Play. I like having conversations about the game as well. If there's any questions you have or any suggestions for the Let's Play or things you'd like to see more of, perhaps I could do some side quests down the road and put it on as side content. Who knows? But anyways, thanks guys for joining me in on today's episode. We explored the area of Heritage Hill, trying to discover what went on there. Discovered that some figure in a hooded cloak had activated a Nguithan machine that trapped the souls in the area, but killed the bodies. So the bodies were still animated with souls inside them, but that they were actually still dead, so making them very feral and aggressive. Using some ancient knowledge from Icantha about Nguithan runes, we decided to turn off the machine, and thereby releasing all the souls in the area. And now I've told Lady Webb about it. We'll see what happens with our next quest, the Hermit of Hadrid House. Nope, through Death's Gate next time. I'm your host, Eric, aka Gingereno, and I'll see you guys next time. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this whole part out. Yeah. So they left Icantha's, and I'm just gonna cut this part so that we just pop into the top of the tower.